I have made some bad mistakes in my time, but that's the breaks, and I'll bet I've had way more fun than you.
Well, hello there, welcome back to another exciting episode of Kip Does Stuff. Exciting might be a strong word, but today's episode is me making another mystery type object for a friend of mine. He really enjoyed putting together the last one, but I made it way too easy, so this one I'm going to make a little more difficult, give him a lot less reference points, and maybe throw in a trick or two towards the end. So let's get started. Okay, so these three pieces will make most of the guillotine for me. This piece of 1/8" flat steel, about 3.5 inches wide, 4 inches long, that will be the blade. This piece here, 3/4 inch solid board, will be the frame itself. And this will be the little piece where you put your head through it. I'll just cut it down to size and put a hole in it. So let's start on the table saw and cut this to size. Okay, we'll start out by doing 2 cuts at 3/4 inch. Okay, I'm just going to pass these through the blade one more time to make sure they're square. Okay, over to the radial arm saw, and we'll cut these 2 pieces to about 12 inches long. Okay, the blade will be about the width of a saw blade, so we're going to cut 2 slots in each one of these, or 1 slot in each of these, and just enough to accept this. So we'll set the blade about center of this block, and we'll run it through in 2 directions, and hopefully that'll be enough to center the slot for us. Okay, and that lets the blade move nice and smooth. Okay, from the piece we cut the uprights out of, we'll cut enough piece for the bottom. Make that about 8 3/4. Okay, here's the uprights, and now we need to make a piece that goes across the top, and I need a little bit of room for a pulley on this side, so I'll make it almost as wide as the bottom at 8 inches. Okay, I need to make a dado for each one of these 2 uprights, so this part will sit on it just right. So I'm just going to lay it on here and eyeball it and then nibble it away on the saw. Okay, next we'll cut the piece that the head slides through, and we'll do that on the table saw, setting this about 3 inches. Now over to the radial arm saw, and we'll cut it about 4 inches. Okay, we want to make a larger dado on the bottom here to allow this top part of the head to slide up and down. So I will just try that again on the table saw. Okay, so this seems to fit in here pretty well. now all I need to do is drill the hole for the neck and then split this in two. Okay, I made this center piece here. It's got a little slot down the center and it hooks on the end of the blade. And now I'm just going to drill through those holes to mark the spot on the blade where I need to make an oversized hole. Okay, now it's time to cut the blade its size and get the angle cut on it. I wasn't sure exactly where I wanted the angle, but I decided on this little line in the center. So let's get it cut. Okay, here's the blade and the holder. I actually had to remake the holder because I split it because I got this opening for the blade too wide. But I remade it. I did a little sanding on the blade to make it nice and smooth, and I also added a fake bevel here so that it looks like it's got a sharp edge on it, but it's actually nice and blunted. Now we'll just install that in the frame. Okay. This seems to be moving pretty smooth here, so I like that. Next thing to do is attach this top part here. And we'll just drill through and add a couple screws. Okay, so we got everything drilled and screwed together. Now we need to slide this blade back in here. And then we'll slide these two pieces in. And that gives us the approximate location, or the approximate width, to add our bottom part. So hold it just like this. So we'll measure that and get it centered and screwed into position. Okay, so I've got it all fully assembled. The blade slides up and down somewhat free. There's also enough room to move the headpiece up and down. Next I need to sink, I got these tiny little eye hooks. I'm going to put one here, one up here to use as a pulley, and another one out here. And then I have to drill a hole through here to run the string through. And then I'm going to run a decorative bead around the outside of this. Countersink these two screws underneath here, and then sand the whole thing nice and smooth and get it ready for packaging. Okay, I've got everything taken apart and stained. Here are the uprights, the base, the blade holder blade, and all the hardware here. I didn't mark everything as well as I marked the last project. There's only a few marks on here to reference how to put it together, and once you figure out one piece you'll be able to get the rest. But I also decided to throw in a little bit of a trick, and I made these three pieces, and I'm just going to throw this extra hardware in the bag also, just for fun. Thanks for watching.